I can't hear anybody.
Yeah, I can't hear you either, Steve-O.
I can hear your brother. I hear Marco.
I can hear
Oh,
you,
there we
Greg.
go. Now I got my microphone
I
on.
can hear everybody. Can they hear me?
I hear you, Greg. Okay.
Okay, sorry about this, guys. I pressed a button and my camera went away. And being not really good at technology, it blew up.
Yeah. So Greg, he was in the waiting room. His video was working, but he hit a button, a volume button or something. And we're gonna have we'll have Greg's gracious voice. How about that during the show?
It's probably an upgrade over the picture.
Yeah. Well, you can see us anyway, and you can see the graphics,
Okay, great.
and we'll go for there. So Greg, welcome. Thanks for joining us on the Oaklawn Capping Hour. I was going to ask you, and I went over this with you a little bit, but you haven't been to Oaklawn Park before.
No, I've been to about 40 different racetracks, but not Oaklawn.
And I feel like I'm the advocate for Oaklawn Park to try and get prominent horse players there. And I can't tell you how many prominent horse players I know, like yourself, that have never been to Oaklawn Park. And I know the main reason why lately is they don't have a BCBC or a NHC contest. So no reason to go, really, unless you want to see some good racing. But everybody wants to play in contests, and we're contest players. So that kind of answers our question why you haven't been there. So obviously, if they got a big contest, you would be there.
Right. I mean, if it's the right contest and they have what I need.
Right.
Whether it's BCBC, NHC, Chasing, I mean, those are the three things you shoot for.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get a bunch of people together to go out there sometime in April. I'll hit you up on that and see if you would want to go, if it would fit your schedule.
Appreciate it.
The NHC, the big question is, I've seen you in some of the feeders. Are you going to be going to Sam Houston, or are you going to be going to the Pegasus?
I haven't decided. I have a kind of a hockey, coach hockey, so that's kind of a last minute decision what I do and how I handle the situation. Really dependent is obviously the Pegasus looks like a lot of fun. It's just a big bankroll, and is that something I want to chase? Sam Houston looks like a great value. I wish the format was a little different, that it wouldn't involve Sam Houston racing. But I understand we're running a business here.
Right.
And I went 1 year, had a great time. Texas Mike does a great job with that product, from what he's working with. But you're treated great. It's a really nice facility. So I have nothing for positives to say. I'd like to go. But I think the prize structure is unbelievable value. 2 BCBC, 4 NHC. It's first chance, last chance. So, the double qualifiers can get their seat for the next year. Whether the points are, you can get a live score. I'm not sure if there's going to be 100 people or 150 people. Either way, it makes sense. If you're chasing points and there's only 100 people, well, you can win a prize 6 out of 100. If you're chasing points, if there's 150 people, well, that's a better opportunity. It's still 6 prizes. Obviously Pegasus. A couple of my buddies are going down. Costello's going. That's that's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, it's a big event. Big bankroll. Is that something I want to do? I'm not sure. And I think Sam Houston's an easier trip for me though too. It's a straight shot up and down the same day.
Right. Yeah, me and Marco drove in a driving rainstorm 7 hours from Hot Springs to Houston. I didn't realize it was that far last year, but I ended up doing good over there, so it was well worth the tiring trip back to Arkansas. Marco, yesterday the track was playing really goofy. As expected, it was wet early. It tried to dry out a little bit. Speed was holding early. I saw some closers late. It was hard to gauge the surface yesterday. I probably had one of my worst days of the last 2 seasons picking the races over there. What does it look like outside your window today?
Well, I'm looking out the window right now. I can't even see the lake. And you know how close? The lake is about 20 yards away, and I can't see it. It's just foggy.
Oh, it's foggy. Okay.
Foggy. Moist, but it doesn't call for rain today. Maybe later on, actually. I think it did.
Okay.
But it didn't rain since Thursday night. So I think it'll be a little dry unless we get that rain pickup, which I think later on today we're supposed to get that.
Well, there's got to be some give in the ground, from what I saw yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's gonna whatever you saw later on yesterday is probably what the track's going to open up like today.
Well, Tom's saying heavy rain starting shortly. He's got the Doppler radar up.
Oh shit!
So
well, there you go. You could just take your handicapping, rip it up, and if it starts pouring, it's just going to create a chaos. There's going to be scratches. It's who knows.
Yeah, Emily made a good point here. I thought early on the card, the outside was tougher, deeper, benefit horses inside. I saw that too. Let's see, evened out some later. That's true. Those still outside had to do work. Yeah, I had a hard time. As we're picking the races a day or two ahead of time, and it didn't do me any favors yesterday. I didn't do too well, but today is a new day. All right. Well, guys, let's dive into the first race. I got your picks this morning, and I put those in. A couple of your plays I liked, Greg, as well. There's one in there or a couple of them that were different, but the first race here is a starter allowance for $10,000 going the short stretch of the mile. So over there, Greg, as you know, the first the 1 mile oval, the finish line stops at the 16th pole, or the first finish line. So it's a short stretch of the mile. Marco, let's start off with you. You landed on the 4 here. Me and Greg both like Eternally Grateful.
Well, Mike Maker finally got off the schneid yesterday with his first win at Oaklawn. It's been pretty cold. Really, he has kind of been cold for a couple of seasons there now. But that, how they say winning is contagious. I like this horse at the mile distance. He's 5 out of 9. He's 1 out of 2 at Oaklawn. He's been running in starter series races for a while now, and he seems to be in pretty good form. Connections are good. 7-2, not a very lovely morning line, but he's an old savvy veteran, 8-year-old with 14 wins. I think this is a good spot for him today.
All right, so the idea,
the wet track as well. He's 3 out of 5. A lot of things just point for this horse to have a good run.
Yeah, he
today.
is 3 for 5. He is 3 for 5 on a wet track, and does have a win here on the strip. This is Eternally Grateful is a horse that I was on a few times last year, and I just missed a couple of those races, and it was very aggravating. I do feel like this horse might be better going 2 turns. It won at FanDuel down there. And when I say down there from me, up there from you in East St. Louis. The other route race, it had some issues there. Watching that replay, it was just way wide. It was in the parking lot, and then just way wide, and just not a very good trip on April 13th last year. And since then, it's been running all sprints, and it's been competitive. Like I said last year, those were excruciating losses for me, because I would have had some decent scores. It has run good on an off track. Last time had a little bit of trouble. I am excited about getting it around 2 turns again. And the price is going to be good. We'll probably get every bit of the 8-1, if not an overlay. Greg, what were you thinking about Eternally Grateful?
Yeah, I think kind of the same what you're saying. It's a couple decent races, or at least one decent race going a mile. What I really like is I have this as probably a slow pace race. And I think this horse stretching out will be near the front of the front. Mm-hmm. So I figure the horse is going to see 1, 2, or 3. And as you said, the price is advantageous, so this would be a nice place to take a stand, and move in on this horse where you're going to get your 8 to 10 to 1, I believe, and the horse is going to be near the front, and with the short stretch, that should be to its benefit.
Yeah, I agree. My backup was the 7-horse Inca Empire. I thought the price was too short, though. It's in good form coming from Remington, but Ingrid has to show me she's going to win one here at the meet. She's she's come here every year for the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years or longer, and she didn't have this one here last year because, well, she didn't have the horse, but she's 0 for 8 so far. She'll win a race sooner or later, but if my horse scratched, I guess I wouldn't mind having it just because of it's in good form. Marco, your backup was the 3. We don't really have to talk about everybody's backup, but Truculent was one that ran in that starter series. And there's a starter race on the card later that I was surprised that this one didn't run in. It lands here instead. So I thought that was interesting. Because they're going a lot shorter today than the other one.
Yeah, definitely. He looks like he wants the distance, but not that he can't do a mile, but just gives a good run almost every single time he's out. And doesn't mind the Oaklawn track at all. So he's been a player here for, last season he was here and he's back. So
yeah, Tom mentioned about Ingrid. Ingrid always used to start fast when she came from Arlington. Yeah, I could see that. Arlington, a little bit more forgiving. They have a training track over there. It was Poly, and I remember. I think I want to say Graham Motion and somebody else used Arlington when they closed down for COVID. They were using it for like a training track at one point, but that was back in the day. All right, so let's move on to race 2. Race 2 is $15,000 non-2 life. It's going 3/4. These are state bred, so they're Arkansas bred. You could look for a couple of maybe open company plays or something along those lines. Marco, you landed way on the outside with the 11.
Yeah, same one as you got. Looks like. What we got here? Strike Ridge.
We actually landed on the same pick and the same backup.
Yeah, this one, coming off the layoff since last summer, this is somewhat of a concern. But, he was running in some pretty tough races last year at Oaklawn. Went out to Texas, tried some open company, and then the turf. Not his thing, but came back home and been working out really good. And Hartman is, a heck of a trainer, local guy. And Bejarano, old savvy veteran, can definitely give him a good ride. I'm curious to see what he can do off the shelf. Hartman is, 20% coming off this kind of a layoff. So, and the horse is 3-1 for a reason.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull up the replay and the stretch here. This was in the slop last year, and race not available. I don't know what's going on with my replays. Let's see. Well, we're running like a Swiss watch today, huh? So anyway, this is Strikes Ridge in the mud last year, number 11. Ironically,
starter Clear Echo is last. Strato is first. Strato went fast, 21 4/5.
Tracking a fast pace.
Quarter mile for Strato, who hits the 5/16 marker a half length in front. Strike Ridge in the second position. He's 3 lengths clear of Macho Striker, sent along from that position. Rhino Wrecker is next as they come down the lane. Strato inside, outside Strike Ridge. Strato digging in, Strike Ridge on the outside, trying to run by him. He's got a shot. Strike Ridge outside for the Chris Hartman barn, has overhauled Strato, and Strike Ridge pulls away from the competition. Strike Ridge and Rafael Bejarano drawing away.
So that was a good effort in the mud. It's the only time it ever ran in the mud. And we're getting it again, and the work tab is just sensational coming in. A lot of times we've mentioned it. These Arkansas breds. I mean, he did take this one to Texas, but they usually shelve them and just bring them back and run in these big purses. But this one is offered for sale. They tried a stake last year in the rainbow, but I guess Hartman just wants to, or the owners want to make some money and get it out of the barn. But the work tab's good, and it's I don't mind. I like being on the outside. I hate being stuck on the inside, especially when there's an off track. Unless you really, it should show a lot of gate speed though. It's got a 1:16 early time form, and it's pretty good out of the gate. Anyway, that's the top pick. Not much of an imagination there. 3-1. Hopefully, we'll get the morning line. The next race is a 12.5 maiden claiming event. $32,000 pot going 3/4.
Oh, what about Greg's pick?
Greg has.
I got four races I like.
He's got 4 races he like. If Greg wants to, and by the way, Greg, if Greg, if you want to just like say, hey, you might want to look at this one or look at that one,
okay, perfect.
Throw us a tidbit, but I got your main plays already up on the graphics for the races that you sent me.
Yeah.
Race 3 is a 12.5 claimer. Marco, you're on the 11 again on the outside. Who is String Theory for Ron Moquette and Rafael Santana.
You got here the maiden 12.5. Horse has been.
It's an Archie bred, so you get to run for 20. But why? Okay, can you explain to me?
Well, he hasn't run since last summer, so he's probably on. Is he on a waiver claim?
So if you don't run, I know if you're. Well, I guess that makes sense because whether you're hurt or not, you can come back. Well, it should. Well, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Well, it's another runner here that is going to be out of the gate early. I'm assuming here, just going off the last 2. Now, if we get the rain that comes in before the first race, I like it a little even better because I like to be out, at least, within a length in the rain. I don't like when the mud's flopping in the horse's face and then sometimes they swallow it and stop running. The horse has been working out good in the morning leading up to this, another layoff, but the morning drills have just been pretty consistently good. And Moquette is definitely Moquette's a capable trainer, and Santana is having himself a meet so far. So he's hot, and when you're hot, you're hot. You got to stay with the hot hand.
All right. I went with the 7. Rerun. I like this horse because I actually picked it yesterday. It didn't get in. It was in the 14 hole in the also eligible list. There was a scratch. But only the 13 got in. So this one had the scratch. But I loved this horse yesterday and I love it today. It's just it's coming in. It's got the second rate. It ran opening weekend. So I like the way it moved that day. It's come back with beautiful work, and 8-1. I'll take that all day long, and should fire a big race. I'll probably do an exacta with your horse and my backup, maybe a 3-horse box. Your horse is 7-2. Yeah, I hope if I get 8-1, I'll be very happy with rerun. I think he's going to run a big race today.
All right, rerun. I have it.
Is that your backup?
Yeah.
Oh, I see that. Okay. Tom says Ron Moquette won the finale yesterday.
Yep, there you go.
I already forgot what race that was.
He'll get going.
I'm trying to remember who did I pick yesterday? I don't know. Marco, there's something cool. We should have brought this up earlier. The Oaklawn website has workouts. So let's go to race 4.
Yeah, you can watch the workouts on the website. It's pretty cool. it's better than almost watching them live because it's hard to see when you're on the backside with all the buildings. And
Yeah.
you see my videos.
So Greg has a pick in here that he likes. I'll talk about mine first. I like the 2 in here for John Ortiz, Devil's Fork. And this one, I love that last work, and we're going to watch it. And I think he's really good with these young runners. And the Santana Ortiz combination is, clicking along at like 20% the last couple of years. So they're doing good. We got, it was a 2-year-old last year. Can't run on LASIK, so it has it now, obviously. But the big Carl Broberg nuts off angle. I've been bringing that up all meet because that's an angle that he really likes. But Devil's Fork is interesting because it's a more mature 3-year-old now. And I think it's just a different horse. You could almost treat it like a 3-year-old that's a first-time starter, like even though it's run a couple times, like a year ago. But I think it's just a different animal now. It's more mature. They clipped it. And let's take a look at the Oaklawn website here. So when you go to Oaklawn, you go to racing, and you click down on workout videos. So this horse worked, I believe, on the 22nd out of the gate. Yep. So let's go down here. Click on the 22nd. And what they do is they don't have them separated by distance or anything. It's all alphabetical order. If the horse worked that day, you just go down to Devil's Fork. Right here. And worked in company with 3. And it's the gray. It was on the rail. It broke kind of in a tangle and got moved back to last year. And it's going to move out to the 3 path eventually. But I love the way this horse worked with that bad start out of the gate. I hope it doesn't do that again today. And I'm sure it got a gate card at some point. But you can see it's beaten by a couple of lengths here, tracking these other 2 stablemates. And I just like the way it finished up. And it actually worked 48 flat.
I didn't see did you play it?
Oh, are you not seeing it?
All I see is thumbnails.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. I thought you had the graphics up. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't see any of that when I showed the video? My bad.
No.
When I was showing the Oaklawn thing. All right, so here it is. You can see that he broke. Here, let me show it again here. Broke from the rail. And got kind of relegated back there and is going to move out to the 3 path and just track these. But I love how we finished up with energy here and 48 flat out of the gate. It was a 3 out of 112 move. So being in a more mature 3, going to be 4 in a couple of days. Gelded and just taking the summer off probably did this one a lot of good. And you can see him tracking these 2 really nice.
Pretty
overtook
good.
him. Yeah, overtook him. And I mean, this is just in hand, really, just in a 48 flat move. It's just real nice and extending. And, you're running against, other Arkansas breds here. So I'm kind of excited about this one. But again, let's see. See if I can get out of this. I guess I can't. I was going to show you guys the website, but no big deal. Greg, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
It just kind of, I'll be quick. I like the $2 Eddie. Just a couple of reasons. Bit of a freshening. I think it will be towards the front, and I don't have this as I have this as a slow pace race, and chase some fast fractions last couple times. Whether the horse is a quitter, we don't know, but that's where I'm going to just take a shot there with that horse. I think he's just going to be near the front. He's run decent times, and I think it's got to have a pace advantage near the front.
Well, that's another one. If you want to spend some time, I don't know what you caught with the workout videos, but you can go on Oaklawn, and that one had a good move too in the 20th.
Okay, that's helpful.
Real nice move, and it ran well here last year, Maiden Special Weight Company, and it ran against Open Company. So, and by the way, we're big fans of Harry Hernandez. We think he's a really good rider. He's won a lot of races with my dad and Carl Broberg through the last year or two, specifically with one of our runners, Lady J, down there at Lone Star. I think he won like 4 races with her. So he's a good rider. He's patient, and he can get horses out of the gate too. So yeah, this one makes all the sense in the world. I would love to do a 2.5 exacta. Marco, we didn't talk about your top pick though, the 10, and it's Bullsworth. And if I remember correctly, you like this. You picked this horse a few times last year.
I did. Burlsworth. It's going to be pretty much a similar trip as Greg's horse. Get out early. Hasn't shown the ability to finish a race really. Actually did better going longer, but this is his second start off the layoff as well. Burlsworth, yeah, he was a Arkansas Razorback offensive lineman who got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
Never got to play a game. He got hit by a semi truck head on and got killed. He was his life story. It was pretty good because he came from he wasn't that good, but it was all about the work ethic that got him where he was, and everybody was happy about this kid, succeeding, and then it just it was tragic. But yeah, back to the horse racing. Similar trip as Greg's horse. I want to be out in the near the lead.
Well, I'm looking at that last race at Churchill. What a company line. Jeez. Top Gun Rocket, really nice. Map to the Stars won next time out with an 85 buyer speed figure. Hell, the horse that ran dead last, Viking, ran a big race here in an Open Maiden with an 82. That's a tough race you're exiting, and it's gonna be what it's gonna feel at home today. Put it that way. So I think we're on the 3 horses. I think you guys have the 2 most logical winners. And then for me, I'm hoping to catch lightning in a bottle with a bomb here. I'm just drawing a line through those 2 races, and I showed the replay. I don't know what it was working against, but it just looked really good visually, and it looks like it could handle trouble. It did run against a really salty field last time. Hall and Ice was in there. Some other ones. It did get crushed, but that was back in January. Like I said, I'm hoping this one grew up and nuts off. Let's go. Mine's on racing. All right, let's go to the next race. Race 5. Greg has a horse that he likes in here, who I also picked on top. Gilded Kraken. It's 3-1 morning line. Maybe it's one that we can just pound or single in the pick 5. Marco, you're going to say otherwise with your 2, but Greg, why don't you tell us what you like about Gilded Kraken?
Well, the Gilded Kraken makes sense to me in that the race is from a mile and 16th to a mile and 3/16. The horse is towards the front and has been very successful.
Yeah,
that's the main reason I wanted it. And let's say it was a contest race, I know we talk contest, you could have a cold double with a horse in the last race to this one. So I was playing a contest today. I made cold double 5-4 all in, and You get $12 for a buck, or that puts you in a good spot. And it's a pretty easy way to go. That's if we're talking contests. So that would be a kind of a stand I would take, and if I was in a contest at Oaklawn today.
Yeah, speaking of contests for Oaklawn, I know they don't have a lot of on-site or NHC stuff, but they actually do have a contest today on twinspires.com. It's a $1,000 buy-in, $600, 400 goes to the prize pool, $600 bankroll. If any of you guys are out there interested in playing in that, they're giving away like some NAC seats and some other stuff. So something to think about. But yeah, I like this one because it's speedy, it's fast. The 12 furlongs. I mean, when you try that and it doesn't work, okay, no big deal. I'm not worried about that. You're coming back to a more normal distance. Although this is the same distance it won at Keeneland, I think 2 back. Yeah, this is 1 3/16. It's a rare distance here at Oaklawn, but they're starting to write more of these. It's usually a precursor. To the last race. It's called the Trail's End, which is, Marco, is that $150,000 starter allowance for 1 3/4? The last race of the meet every year.
Yeah, the Trail's End.
Yeah, it's called the Trail's End, and I think that's 1 3/4.
1 3/4, yes.
Yeah, it's a crazy race. So sometimes you'll see these horses that win these starter allowances through the year. They end up running there for like the big send off. So, but yeah, Christian Torres leading jock on. Joe Sharp hasn't sent a lot here, but a prominent name in racing and a guy that wins a lot of races. Has been favorite 3 times in a row. Won 2 in a row before that 12 furlong loss. But yeah, we're getting back to reality here at a distance that just won at Keeneland 2 back. Marco, you are on the 2. Tell us about huge Bigley.
Well, we had a huge year, Bigley on the election, so that's one reason now. I thought there was some, runners in this race that would maybe burn each other out, and your guys' horse is one of them. And Huge Bigley is one that could sit off, close but off, just a little bit and make one run. Has run very well at Oaklawn last year. Some of its better recent races. Mm-hmm. He's 7 years old. I mean, you have to go back a little while to get some of them 90s that he was running back in 21, Churchill and Oaklawn. But I see him right off the pace, making one big run. He should be in form. He's back on the dirt. Maybe not as classy as the 4, but nevertheless, he likes Oaklawn and can wet in the off and run in the wet off track. So 8-1, 8-1 is a pretty good price. It's one of my higher odds of the day for me. And usually I'm, all over the bombs, but didn't land on many today.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get back to that form from last year. And if you are just saying, hey, this is a horse for course horse, and it's got 3 wins and 8 lifetime starts here. It ran well here last season. I guess if you could point to that, yeah, you can get to this horse. Recent form, I would be like, I'd be hard pressed, but it does come in with a good work, and you do have the foundation from those races from last season. So why not? I mean, and you might get an overlay. Hell, you might go off higher.
Maybe.
All right, that'll close out the pick 5. It'll be interesting to see how I play it, but I got a decent idea of what I'll do. Race 6 starts the late pick 5, so you can do the early pick 5. If you strike out, you come right back in race 6. And race 6 is a 2-year-old maiden race for $50,000. And I landed on the 3 horse here, who is Speechless. And I was just thinking, hey, is this one better sprinting? It ran against East Avenue in debut. And whenever I see these horses that have gone longer than 3/4, like you see them they go from 7.65, but they lose ground. They go from 10.64, but they lose a little ground in the stretch. They go from, well, that race 3 back was a disaster. And then even in the debut, that was 3/4, but it just ran against a buzzsaw. I like this one cutting back. And again, we got Harry Hernandez in here. Now it is entered for tomorrow. So I don't know if it's going to run tomorrow or not. And I forgot what the rules are of that. If you enter in both days, you got to run in the later day, or if you get to pick a day. So, but if it runs today, I like Speechless on top. If not, I did go to the rail. I was reluctant to pick this because I do have a rule of not picking a first-time starter in the 1-hole. And I talked to some old-time trainers. They're like, oh, yeah, they get spooky. The tractor that pulls the gate bothers them and this and that. There's a lot of different reasons why trainers don't like the 1-hole, but the 1-hole is not good just for position anyway if you don't break good. But I like the work pattern. I like that last little 3/8 in the mud. And if I do scratch, I don't mind taking a chance with a horse that's going to be a complete bomb for Ron Moquette. They spent the $120,000 on the animal, and it's probably well meant, although they are offering it for $50 here. So yeah, those are my picks there. You landed on the 7.
Yeah, just so you know, if the 1 does win, he wouldn't be the first timer to win this year out of the 1-hole.
At Oaklawn?
That's already happened once. It already happened once at the meet so far.
Okay.
Just let you know. Yeah, Zoom, Brad Cox, second-time starter. I think this horse is going to get out and just not look back. Went back to the barn, tightened up the bolts. Very nice animal. $500,000 purchase and for $50,000. So you got a pretty good.
That's a tax
pretty
write-off.
good. You got a pretty good discount on this horse. Whoever claims this one today.
Windstar Farms, they're not shy of doing that. Do you remember a horse by the name of Lord of the Game?
I do.
Hawthorne many years ago. They spent crazy money on it. I think it was Godolphin had it, and they just it landed at Hawthorne. It was claimed New Year's Eve for like $10,000 in a maiden race. It won by 20 lengths. That horse ended up winning the Cornhusker and like, I don't know, $700,000.
Huh.
Like, Jesus, man.
Amazing.
So, yeah. But, yeah, there's a lot of horses in here that are offered in for a tag that don't make sense. Some of them do, but I don't know. I don't know how. I'll probably go deep in here if I play the late pick 5.
Yeah, that horse Zoom. Yeah, this horse is getting claimed today for sure.
Well, the Oaklawn claim box is pretty nuts. If that thing has like 4 nice cold looking legs and doesn't have a sway back, it ran good in debut. They'll probably do it. Let's see. Speechless entered it in a maiden special weight on Sunday, though better. Yeah, in this maiden claiming, I agree. All right. Race 7 is an allowance race going 2 turns, mile and 16th. It's an A other than for $130,000. 3-year-olds and up. Marco, you could start us off. You landed on the 5.
I am pretty chalky today. Another one that should be right there getting out of the gate. 0 for 2 in the wet. So we'll see how that goes. I like the connections. Christian Tour's leading jockey here. Joe Sharp is 16. Everybody knows who he is. Coming from Churchill, the runners from Churchill have been running well at the meet. So let's just stalk and pounce just like he used to. Last time he went out to the lead and faded out. I don't want to really see that. I'd rather see him just behind the leader and have a somewhat of a target in front of him. So that's what I'm going for here today. He can run early and run well, both, well. Late and early, he can run well.
Yeah, listen, I have it as my backup. I probably should be prudent in picking on top. I did try and go with a price with Ask Me. So I do want to mention, you said 0 for 2 on wet, but that last race, 2 back, was a monster race. Banishing came back and crushed here. And of course, Liberal Arts won that race, the next race. And I love Liberal Arts later on today in the card. So that's a key race.
And his first one was a first timer in the wet. So
yeah, I wouldn't worry about that race 2 back in the mud. I thought it ran a pretty good race in there. So it's going to be tough to beat. The 3 or the horse that I landed on was the 3 here, Silver Heist for Asmussen. Asmussen's off to a little bit of a slow start at the meet. He's only 5 for 46. Leading trainer for many years here at Oaklawn Park. I like getting this one back. We'll see. I feel like the race 2 back, they did take it off the turf, and I don't know really what it beat in there, but it looked pretty good watching the replay. Last time it just looked like it was churning a little bit. The Indiana Grand horses, they can be pretty tough though. Let me just look at that winner there, Bishop's Bay. That's a nice animal. That one surprised me when it came off that layoff and won like that, but you could see that horse was always precocious, and it came off that layoff and won again with pretty much a similar number it's been running. It's probably going to even run faster than that next time it runs for Brad Cox. So that was a good company line for me. I'm not going to worry about that too much, getting beaten that spot. But I like this spot, and 8-1, Asmussen is going to start popping these. And if they're going to let Asmussen go off at bigger prices because he's off to a slower start, hey, I like that. So I'm with you. 8 or 3-5 all day long. I'll probably do an exacta in here or something, and I'll use those 2 on my pick 5. All right, race 9 is the Tinsel, and Greg has a horse in here, I believe. Yes, Greg. Why don't you start us off in the Tinsel Stakes? You actually have 9-6 here. Tell us what you were thinking.
Yeah, I just think there's going to be a big pace race. The 9 ran a couple really competitive figs a while ago, and a year ago, and I just think there's going to be a pace setup for the 9. Kind of the same thing with the 6, in that with Hurry Hurry being a closer, running competitive, and one's they're both big prices, and so I think if the race kind of falls apart, I think one of those 2 has a chance to take a nice piece. So you could play win tickets on them, using them as tries, but I think they'll be coming late. The 9's a bigger question mark whether the horse can still run. The 6, I think, will be closing into the pace, but the 9's a bigger price.
Yeah, the 9 was really good here last year. I will note, coming off that layoff, it did have the classic TOD on the turf. That's the trip of death, laying just off the hip of the pace setter in a turf race. On the outside, you just don't want to have that trip. It never works out good. It did happen yesterday where a horse had that trip, but it was 1-2, and it was just much the best. So you got to be an exceptional animal to get that trip and win. So not an ideal trip on the turf. You're going turf to dirt. It's run successful on turf. Well, it's run another race before on turf that was pretty good. But yeah, its dirt races are pretty solid if you can get back to some of those through the years. But you're right. You have to see, is this one going to be ready to run? And if it can, it lands here. I know the trainer's 4%, but he's taking a swing, and you can't blame him for that. And the 6, yes, you got that tightener out of the way, just barely missing, had some traffic issues. Looks like a really nice pick at double-digit odds. For me, I went to Liberal Arts. Liberal Arts was my Arkansas Derby pick last year. He was kind of a wise guy horse leading into the Arkansas Derby, at least locally. He did not run well. That was a race where Muth won that. And then, of course, Mystic Dan was in that race, who had some issues in that race and came back and won the Kentucky Derby. Mystic Dan didn't look too good the other day in the Malibu, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But yeah, this one here, Marco, that race 2 back, this is the one that beat your horse.
Yeah.
Along with Banishing, and just, love the off going, and just in great form right now. And I think it's ready for a new top again. The last race beat a short field that came off the turf, won by 11. So probably, it just didn't have to do much running in there. I think the tank, we can get to the bottom of the tank a little bit more today and probably run, our new top. And what it does after this, we'll find out. But I'm sure this one's going to be pointed, later on to the Oaklawn handicap if it continues to run well in these stake races here at Oaklawn. Marco, you landed on the 5.
Well,
Red Route 1. This was my backup pick. I didn't like the price, but it looks pretty formidable. Tell me what you like.
Well, for starters, you get a second off the layoff since the summer. So he just ran not too long ago on November 29th. And this is when I believe Asmussen is serious about winning. He took his son off. He's not using his son for a rider. And he's using Santana. And I just been fading. I've been fading Asmussen a lot this season at Oaklawn. If you've noticed, I know he's been using his 2 sons a lot for jockey.
Okay, you know what? I just got a note here that Liberal Arts ran at Fairgrounds 2 days ago. That tells you how close I'm paying attention to Fairgrounds racing.
Oh wow,
that's a new development.
Wait, 2 days?
Yeah, it ran 2 days ago.
Oh wow. Huh.
So they're not running here. Okay, so I didn't obviously I'm not watching Fairgrounds. Well, that's a bummer because I really liked them in this spot. Jeez. So we're going to have to go to Red Route 1 as the backup. Although I am liking Greg's pick as the 6.
Well,
but
if you want
to finish
publicly change it, you can. But yeah, I mean, he's the Red Route 1's the class of the race, and the second off the layoff, it's 5-2 for many reasons. I just think he's the best horse in the race, especially now that your horse is out. So
yeah. Where am I going to land here? Let's look at the pace scenario. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, I got it as a pretty quick pace, but maybe with the scratch out, maybe it's not. I think Liberal Arts ran 2 days ago. Can you guys verify that?
No, yeah. Wait, who did?
Liberal Arts ran 2 days ago.
Yeah, Liberal Arts did run. Emily, I think Emily.
I sent you the note.
Yeah, everybody jumped on me here. You, Emily.
Yeah.
Let's talk to each other, Emily. Yeah, they're telling me Liberal Arts scratching. Yeah. If this was 1933, Liberal Arts would be running, but
or if Oscar Barrera was the trainer.
Yeah. So, I actually, guys, I watch 0 Fairgrounds racing. I don't bet Fairgrounds. I watch 0 racing down there. So that pretty much explains that one. I'll have to think about what I want to do. My backup is Red Route 1. There is a lot of speed in here. I'll probably just defer to Marco's pick, who is my backup anyway. Greg, I do like your 6, second off that layoff there. The intriguing one is your 9. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's basically that's a very good. It had some decent works, but it's a stab.
Yeah, it's come back to work well. I'll give you that. I mean, since that turf race, 3 nice works locally. It did have a bad trip in that turf race.
I tossed the turf race. I don't even look at it. I mean,
it was a TOD, so I don't even look at it. So, and it's working good. I think it's sneaky. I'd have to say the horse is feeling good.
Well, who knows? We'll know in a few hours.
We'll know in a few hours. Okay, so liberal arts is gone. I feel like a idiot talking about liberal arts and handicapping the race and getting all excited about betting it. And how did it do, by the way? Emily, did the horse do anything at Fairgrounds?
It box to wire off the turf.
Really? Oh, he crushed the Fairgrounds race, would have won this. Oh,
11-length winner.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking at it here. That's the race. Okay. Boy, I tell you, I am on top of my game today. All right, race 10. Race 10 is a allowance, 2 turns, 130 grand. These are for 3-year-olds and up. Boy, didn't they have the same condition, or was that just 3-year-olds earlier, Marco? Or is this, are they writing 2 of these today? Or am I? Oh no, the other one was 3/4. Okay, that explains that. All right, Marco. So let's see. I'll let you start off. You have the 10 here in the nightcap.
Yeah, he's another runner that is going to be show some, gate speed, get out of the gate within the length or the lead. On the outside, draw, which I'm going to probably like that as well. I like Calhoun, trainer, Texas guy. Vasquez is having a pretty good meet right now. And this horse is proven in the wet, on a wet track. Matter of fact, he probably prefers a wet track over a dry track. And being out in the, in the first flight, I think gives him a shot to have a good run today.
Hey, Steve-O?
Yes.
If somebody's looking for something, maybe the 12 lat long McPeak's horse has run better since adding Lasix. Looks the race dynamics will help it closing. I think there's going to be a quicker pace. I think it'll be closing. I know it's a bit of a nibbler, but I think maybe get 5-6 to 1 on this one.
Yeah. Locally down there at Fairgrounds, it had a super fast work on the 14th, and the other subsequent work down there was really good. So it's feeling good, and like you said, it's run faster or good with the Lasix, and at 2-back it ran pretty credible against the next out winner on the slop on June 2nd. So yeah, that's a good pick there. Did win here many moons ago. Let's expand the there it is. December 17th last year. It did break its maiden here before it went to the Lecomte. So good. Yeah. Likes the track.
Is that Hernandez? Is that Harry Hernandez that rode that horse? Or is that a different Hernandez?
That's probably Brian Hernandez that was on that one. Yeah, I would imagine.
Hernandez is not riding in this race.
Yeah, that wasn't Harry Hernandez.
All right.
That was probably Brian Hernandez. I landed on the 6, Beyond Best, and it's one of those horses similar to me and Greg's pick earlier. It went 12 furlongs off a layoff, and that didn't work out at Churchill in a tough spot. This is an easier race because this is a straight A other than, where that one was not only 12 furlongs, but it was optional claiming 50. So you can have 10-time winners in there that have won all kinds of races. So, so this is they had some issues in that last, but just go back to some of the other races. It fits in here really well. And at 20 to 1 for this trainer who's on fire. I've talked about him, Gennaro Garcia. He's winning a lot of races right now. He's only run off the board, twice in 11 starts. And he has 5 wins here at the meet. So I don't know what he's feeding his horses, but I think I joked with you, Marco, the other day. I think I picked 3 of his horses, and those are, or maybe it was 3 or whatever, how many losses he has. I think those are the ones that I picked.
Yeah. He did.
I haven't picked one of his horses at 1 yet.
Oh,
but I'm going to pick this one because of the price, and we're getting back to reality here with an easier spot. And a distance more conducive to his running style, in my opinion. Backup was the 7, Get a Job. Asmussen, that one was just wide on the outside and was in good form before that. So I thought I had another look. And Marco, you went to the 2. King Russell, he's no stranger here. Kind of a plotter, though. One that he'll win a race sooner or later. I don't know. I wonder if they should run him somewhere else or try something. I mean, he's trying, but
he's a trier.
Eventually, he's 1 for 17, though. I maybe send him to an A other than at, like, I don't know, Texas or Remington or something like that. It'll probably get the job done.
Yeah, you'll have to have I don't know. He's just inconsistent. Runs. I mean, he's got second-itis, seems like, as well. I mean, he doesn't win, but he comes in second. I don't know. Maybe he could sneak in there, but the price is pretty good.
Tom's saying we didn't talk about race 8. Did we not talk about race 8?
I was just about to bring that up. We skipped over race 8. Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Boy,
we were on a roll. So I
tell you, with the graphics, this and that, and that's all right. When me and Emily do Sunday at Hawthorne, we skip around. Let's go to race 8. Let's see, race 8. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. All right. Marco, you got the 8.
Yes.
Outrageously. 7-2, Jordan Blair.
Another one that should sit right underneath the speed, which I think is pretty speedy race. And I don't want to be way back there getting, dirt and mud flung in my face today. So I don't know if it's going to be, I mean, at this point, it could be, who knows? It could be pouring rain at that point. That's to be determined. Third off layoff, he's won 2 in a row. I mean, really, this horse just kind of came out into his own last couple of races compared to what he was doing. I mean, he just he just woke up, because he ran 1, 2, 3, 4 races. None of them looked really that good. He did have a win, I guess, over there, but then those last 2 numbers just pops off the page. If he's going to run like that today, the 8 outrageously here is going to be a major player.
Yeah, he's those races at Turfway probably, didn't like the synthetic. Something must have went wrong. That was a 1-turn race at Churchill in April. Something went wrong there, so it's had some time off since. But yeah, it's come back. It's crushed, and it's gonna have to show us it can crush again, which it very well might do. I got the 4 Pop Arena, trouble in last, second off a layoff. It was sandwiched pretty hard there. I watched that replay on the head-on. It got you could just draw a line through that race. And I think that Ramo might have this one ready the second time off a layoff, as long as we get it was beaten favorite too, by the way, in there. So as long as we get a clean break and don't get smashed like that again, I think we'll be in good shape. And it's run well here before. It just missed by a nose. I picked this horse in that maiden breaker last year on the show, February 17th. And
I think I had that one with you.
Maybe. Yeah, and I played it in the Hawthorne contest too. I was at Hawthorne that day it won at 7-1.
I had this horse December 7th as well, but like I said, I'm fading the Asmussen jockeys, not the trainer, the jockeys.
Okay.
They're just not doing it for me right now until they start just doing better. I'm gonna fade them, and they're cold on my list right now. So, and he's back on, and so I went somewhere else.
All right,
hey, Steve-O, off topic. You going up to Hawthorne in Feb?
I'll be at Hawthorne 100%. I go to all the Hawthorne contests.
Yeah, those are really good contests for everybody out there.
Yeah, everybody, like, we talk about Hawthorne contests a lot here. They, you get to use your bankroll 100% of it. You can bet whatever you want. You can make one bet. You can make 50 bets. You could bet pick fours and pick fives, and I mean everything. It's just supers. There's no handcuffs on what you can do. It's just like you're going to the track on a regular Saturday at the OTB, and except you're playing in a contest. So if you have a good day, might as well enter in the contest, and you got to be a member of the tour. What is that? $30, $25, something like that.
Inconsequential.
Yeah. Finally, you start talking about all the real stuff. Nice job, Emily. Oh man, I tell you. So, Greg, you're leading the tour right now.
Correct.
And I got it pulled up here. You're up by 200 and some odd points.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at your scores. You got a little bit of room for error there. You got some scores of 2,500.
Right.
I would imagine you're going to have to. I guess you're going to have to play some of these Friday games every Friday on horse tourneys.
Well, I do, and I don't have a lot of success, as you can tell by my scoring. I've been a little more fortunate in the cash games.
Yeah, I see that. You did good at Hawthorne. You won the $10,000 bonus that Saturday, right?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to do that, so that worked out really well for myself.
Yeah, and a friend of mine, of course, Dylan Donnelly ran second behind you that day, and then the Grade 1 Gamble, great score there.
Yeah, I was third there, and then third in the Spring Challenge, and maybe sixth at Monmouth.
Yeah, so some really good stuff. So, yeah, the live events is where you can get a lot of points as long as you have enough people in them. The live events score more, or these Friday 3,300 point scores that you can get. You got to beat 350, 400 people, and it's hard. I know you got to I guess you could just spend the 225 from here on out every Friday and throw.
Yeah, I've been doing that the whole year, and it's still not a ton of success. So it's a little frustrating, And if I can get some success if I have matched my Friday success to the live scores, I should be in good shape.
A live score at Sam Houston with 100 people in there, that should get you over 3,000 points. So
I think that's 2,750. So
is that what it's going to be?
Yeah. Okay. So that's a question. How many are they going to get? Is it going to be 80, 100, 140? I mean, that right. 100 to 140 is a different number.
Look at that player rating, 9.988.
Well, it's just a lot of grinding, basically.
That's a good.
A lot of burning money.
Everybody. Listen, I wish you. Before we go, the football college playoffs. I don't know if you pay attention to that. We ask all our guests what they think, who's going to win these games. Notre Dame, Georgia. Do you have an opinion on that game?
Georgia's offense. I'm not sure what they can do with their quarterback out. Notre Dame's got some injuries on defense. I'm guessing Georgia, but I don't have a strong opinion either way. I think Georgia's got probably better athletes, but I just think they may win. But I don't have a real strong opinion that way.
Yeah, I'm with Notre Dame just because of the quarterback situation, and they showed me a lot against Indiana. Completely shut them down. We'll see what they can do with Georgia's offense, who's kind of struggling, like I said, with the quarterback. Texas versus ASU, is that going to be a foregone conclusion? Or
I think Texas is going to do it unless the quarterback play at Texas gives ASU the ball too many times.
Yeah,
turn the ball over. If Texas doesn't turn the ball over, they win.
I think Arch Manning should get some more playing time. We talked about that with some other guests. Ohio State, Oregon.
I'm a biased Ohio State fan, so
okay.
I'm not sure. Ohio State's lost two of their offensive linemen, so they have an issue there. They have one linebacker I don't think is that good, but their other 10 guys on defense are pretty good. On offense, I think the Michigan thing was they just didn't throw the ball down the field. I think if they throw the ball down the field using Ryan Dave's passing concepts, with Chip Kelly's running concepts, they should do a really good job. And they also incorporated Hartline's some of his ideas to get the wide receivers open. But the Tennessee game was an easy matchup for Ohio State. Tennessee played one high, and they left their corners for some reason one-on-one with Jeremiah Smith and Ibuka, which is probably not the best thing to do in the world.
Yeah.
But I think Oregon's really, really good. They beat them. Both teams got, you can talk breaks either way. Both teams got a ton of breaks in the game. Better team that day won. The question is, can Ohio State win this time? I think, the ceiling on Ohio State's much higher than Oregon, but the floor is much lower because, if Ohio State plays a C game, they lose. They play an A game, they got a good shot of winning. Oregon's going to play well. The question is Ohio State going to play well?
You mentioned the two offensive linemen. Did they get hurt in the Tennessee game, or
they one got hurt in the Oregon game, the left tackle, Simmons, I believe his name is, and then the center got hurt before the Indiana game.
Okay, well, you know what? They played well against Tennessee. Next man up, they got 5-star recruits. I think they'll be fine with some of the guys. And then the other game, I guess we don't have to really talk about it, or maybe we should. Boise State should get beat up by Penn State, or do you think there's an upset?
Boise State's only losses by a couple to Oregon. They're not. They haven't had a great schedule, and also Penn State has James Franklin coaching them.
That's a negative.
He's been known to lose some big games.
Okay.
But Penn State's got a lot of good players, but Franklin seems to find ways to lose games.
Yeah. Good stuff, my man. All right, so are you going to be playing horses today? What's your game plan?
Yeah, I may buy into Sam Houston. I don't like live contests because I just don't like sitting there looking at a screen all day. I like to pick and pray and just be done with it. Guys are picking 20 to 1s in the last race. It's I would do the same. I would do the same thing, but it's just frustrating. Bunch of feeders. We got a NHC contest on the 1st and on the next Friday. Those are my next ones. And then I'll be a Mago Monmouth, haven't decided. Definitely Indiana Downs, the 1st, February 15th. We have the Hawthorne.
Yeah, I'll be at Hawthorne. I'll be at Sam Houston. I'll play a couple. I'll be in the Sam Houston tournament today. I qualify for that 118 game or whatever.
Yeah, good.
So I'll play in that little thing.
And I'll either stay here. I'll do Sam Houston or Pegasus. Haven't really kind of ironed that one out yet. One of the 3 choices.
Sounds good, Greg. Well, listen, good luck. Wish you all the luck in the world on the tour. Let's close it out. You're at the you're at the 8th pole, so let's just bring it home. And look forward to seeing you again at the contest tables, wherever that may be. And guys, like we say, to close out the show, let's cash some tickets.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Marcos. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Good stuff. See you later.
Bye-bye.